Greetings, dearest film enthusiasts, and welcome to another exciting episode of Tim and Tom's Film Nights. I must say, I am quite excited myself for our discussion today. Thomas, we have a real gem for you tonight, or rather a complete disaster, depending on who you ask. Today we will be discussing the 2012 Indian Teen Film Student of the Year, directed by Karan Johar and produced by Dharma Productions and Red Chilies Entertainment.
Ah, yes. I must say, Timothy, I thoroughly enjoyed this one. But before you start your usual rant about Bollywood films not being your cup of tea, let me just say that this film is an exception to the rule. It features debutants Sidharth Malhotra, Varun Dhawan, and Alia Bhatt in the lead roles alongside Rishi Kapoor, Sana Saeed Ranit Roy, Sahil Anand, Ram Kapoor, and Farida Jalal in supporting roles.
Well, Tom, I must say that my opinion of this film couldn't be more opposite to yours. In fact, I found it to be a complete waste of time, or rather 142 minutes and 32 seconds of my precious life that I will never get back. The storyline was predictable. The acting was mediocre at best. And the dance numbers were enough to make me want to throw my remote control at the screen.
Oh, Timothy, dearest, you do exaggerate so. I found the storyline to be heartwarming and relatable, with themes of friendship, rivalry, and self-discovery intertwined beautifully. And as for the dancing, it's a Bollywood movie. What did you expect? Cold, dark British realism. No. We need some color and energy in our lives. Besides, the dance numbers were choreographed by the legendary Farah Khan. So they had to be good, didn't they?
Well, Tom, I do appreciate the artistic value of a well-executed dance number. But when it comes at the expense of a coherent plot and believable characters, I feel we have strayed far from the path of quality cinema now, since you seem so fond of this film. Would you care to enlighten me on the plot? Who are these students and what exactly is their year?
Of course, Timothy, dearest. Student of the Year revolves around the lives of three young men, Sidharth Sid Mehra, played by Sidharth Malhotra, who is the son of a wealthy businessman, Rohan Singh, played by Varun Dhawan, who comes from a poor family but has made it to the prestigious school on scholarship, and the charismatic, yet troubled bad boy Ryan A. Anyway, back to the plot. So, these three young men are all vying for the coveted title of Student of the Year at a fictional boarding school called S.A. Academy. Throughout the film, they face various challenges and obstacles both academically and personally as they navigate their way through friendship, rivalry, and even love triangles. Now, one of the central plot points revolves around a competition between the students called Megadan, where teams are formed. And each group must perform an elaborate dance number to win the coveted trophy. Oh, I almost forgot to mention that there is also a beautiful romance blooming between Alia Bhatt's character, an orphan named Shania, who befriends Sid during their first day at school. Timothy, what do you think about this intriguing tale of friendship, rivalry, and love set against the backdrop of a prestigious boarding school?
Well, Tom, I must admit that the setting does sound somewhat interesting, but the plot you just described sounds like a mishmash of cliches and stereotypes from countless other films. It's like they took elements from The Breakfast Club, mixed in some Bollywood dance numbers, added a dash of House of Pain for good measure, and called it a day. As for the romance between Sid and Shania, I fear it will just serve as a predictable plot device to further drive home the themes of friendship and rivalry that we've already seen countless times in other films. Now, if you don't mind me interrupting your love-filled monologue about the Student of the Year nonsense, I do have some interesting trivia to share. Did you know that the role of Sidharth Mehra was originally offered to Ranbir Kapoor and even Shahid Kapoor before it eventually landed in the hands of Sidharth Malhotra? And what about the famous Kai Po Chi song from the film, which became an instant hit? The original title was actually Dil Simir Dil Ke Sath, but due to copyright issues, they had to change it to avoid any legal troubles.
Oh, Timothy dearest, you always find a way to rain on my parade, don't you? But I must admit that your trivia is quite interesting. So, what do you think about the choice of music in the film? I personally thought the soundtrack was well selected and complemented the storyline perfectly. Now, let's talk about one of my favorite parts of the film, the dance competition, Mega Dance. Did you know that the dance choreography for this competition took a whopping 24 days to shoot? And the elaborate set that was built specifically for this scene reportedly cost around $1.5 million. I'm not saying money equals quality, but it does show how much effort and resources were put into making this scene memorable. What do you think about the performances of the three lead actors, Sidharth Malhotra, Varun Dhawan, and Alia Bhatt? Do you think they managed to bring their characters to life? Or did they just, dance around in colorful costumes?
Well, Tom, I must admit that the dance numbers were well choreographed and executed. But as for the story and character development, it's a different matter entirely. The plot holes are so big you could drive a tank through them, and the characters seem more like caricatures than actual people. I mean, we have the wealthy playboy who is actually just misunderstood, the poor but talented underdog who defies odds. And of course, there's the beautiful yet troubled girl caught in the middle. It's a tried and true formula that's been done countless times before. And unfortunately, this film doesn't bring anything new or interesting to the table. As for the acting performances, I found them to be mediocre at best. While the dance numbers were well executed, the emotional scenes fell flat, and the supposedly dramatic moments lacked any genuine depth or impact. The only actor who managed to shine in his role was Rishi Kapoor, who played the stern yet caring headmaster of SI Academy. His portrayal of a strict but compassionate mentor was one of the few redeeming qualities of this otherwise forgettable film.
Ah, Timothy dearest, you always find the rain clouds even when it's sunny outside. I must admit that the storyline isn't groundbreakingly original, but it's a Bollywood movie meant to be enjoyed for its escapism and entertainment value. And as far as dance numbers go, this film delivers them in spades. The colorful costumes, energetic choreography, and catchy tunes are what many people tuned in for. And I think the film delivered on that front. As for the acting performances, while they might not be Oscar-worthy, they were serviceable enough to carry the story forward. Besides, it's a Bollywood movie. We don't watch them for Academy Award-winning performances, do we? We watch them to forget about our mundane lives and immerse ourselves in a world of color, dance, and drama. Now, let's talk about the actors themselves. Sidharth Malhotra did an adequate job portraying the wealthy playboy with a heart of gold, or maybe just a silver spoon in his mouth. Varun Dhawan brought charisma and, charm to the role of the underdog who defies odds, and Alia Bhatt shined as the troubled yet strong-willed Shania. The chemistry between them was palpable, even if their characters' love triangle felt a bit cliched. And how could we forget about Rishi Kapoor's performance as the stern yet loving mentor? His charismatic presence elevated every scene he was in. So, Timothy dearest, with all that said, would you be willing to give Student of the Year a second chance? Or have I convinced you at least to appreciate it for what it is, an over-the-top cheesy, yet ultimately entertaining Bollywood romance filled with dance numbers and teenage angst?
Well, Tom, I must admit that your enthusiasm is infectious, but I fear my heart is simply too cold and brittle to be warmed by the fiery dance numbers of Bollywood. As for giving Student of the Year a second chance, I don't think even the combined efforts of Meryl Streep and Daniel Day-Lewis could persuade me to subject myself to that torture again. However, I will concede that Rishi Kapoor's performance was indeed one of the few bright spots in an otherwise bleak cinematic landscape. His portrayal of the stern yet caring mentor who secretly rooted for his students was a breath of fresh air amidst the sea of cliches that plagued this film. As for the younger cast members, I must confess that I found them to be lacking in both charisma and chemistry. Sidharth Malhotra's portrayal of the wealthy playboy with a heart of gold left me unmoved, while Varun Dhawan's portrayal of the underdog felt more like a well-trained puppy eagerly awaiting its next treat. Alia Bhatt did her best with the troubled yet strong-willed Shania, but ultimately her character was just another trope in a long line of forgettable Bollywood heroines. In conclusion, dearest Tom, while I appreciate your passion for this film and the genre in general, I fear that Student of the Year is simply not my cup of tea. Perhaps it's time we move on to a more intellectually stimulating topic, such as the influence of Jean-Luc Godard on Quentin Tarantino or the role of color in Stanley Kubrick's filmography.
Ah, Timothy dearest, you always bring up the most intellectual and intriguing topics, don't you? I must say, I do appreciate your willingness to explore new territory even if it does occasionally lead us astray into the depths of Bollywood melodrama. But since we ventured down this path, let's talk about some other films and TV series that have been influenced by Student of the Year and its oh-so-memorable dance numbers. One such example is the popular Indian reality show India's Got Talent, which featured a contestant named Sidharth Malhotra, who auditioned with a contemporary fusion dance. Inspired by the famous Kai Po Chi song from Student of the Year, his performance was so captivating that it not only won him a spot in the top 10, but also gained him nationwide fame and admiration. Another notable influence can be seen in the popular teen drama series Gossip Girl, which featured a similar dance-off scene in its season 3 finale titled The Biggest Break Ever. While the actual choreography and music differed, the concept of a high-stakes competition between rival groups of students vying for their own version of the coveted Student of the Year trophy was heavily inspired by this Bollywood classic. Lastly, let's not forget about the impact that Student of the Year had on the fashion world. Its colorful and vibrant costumes designed by famous Indian fashion designer Manish Malhotra became instant hits among youngsters who tried to emulate their favorite character's style both on and off screen. In conclusion, while our opinions may differ on the artistic merits of Student of the Year, it's undeniable that this film left a lasting impression on popular culture both in India and beyond. Whether it was inspiring dance performances, influencing TV shows, or even sparking fashion trends, Karan Johar's directorial debut has truly stood the test of time. So, Timothy dearest, do you finally see the brighter side of Bollywood cinema now?
Well, Tom, I must admit that even though I didn't personally enjoy Student of the Year as much as you did, it's hard to deny its impact on Indian cinema and popular culture in general. The colorful dance numbers, the over-the-top dramatics, and the cliche but somehow endearing storyline have captured hearts and minds alike. As for me, I think I'll stick to my classic British films and leave the Bollywood antics to you and your vibrant, chaotic world of colorful costumes and energetic dance routines. But hey, that's what makes this podcast so special, isn't it? We can discuss our differences in taste and opinion and still remain friends. So, Tom, thank you for inviting me to share my thoughts on Student of the Year with you today. It was an experience. And before we sign off, let me leave our viewers with a thought to ponder. What's your favorite Bollywood film or TV series? Let us know in the comments below, and remember to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Until next time, goodbye, Tom.
Goodbye, Timothy dearest. And to all our lovely viewers out there, don't forget to hit that like button. Leave a comment and please share this video with your friends. We love hearing from you guys, so tell us your favorite parts of the movie or your least favorite moments. Remember, disagreeing is encouraged here, as long as it's done in a respectful and friendly manner, of course. Until next time, adieu.